Welcome to the REALL Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by
the Resilience DoctHers,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL Resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
The Resilience DoctHers.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Resilience DoctHers
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with
the Resilience
describe them as an
DoctHers
excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 252 of the REALL Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor, and we are very excited to continue our Synergy Lab series because today's conversation impacts every classroom, every office, every school bus, every staff meeting, and every home. Today, we're discussing something that affects every single person listening, and that is mental health.
Absolutely. And as we do every week, we always start off with you letting us know what kept you resilient in the work this week. What kept you resilient in the work this week? And I know that some of you are like us and you're already out for the summer, but you're also like us in that you're still there working, whether you're in the building or you may be home doing some things. But what kept you resilient in the work this week? And if this is your first time tuning in, you may be wondering, well, who are the Resilience DoctHers?
And you know what? We are glad that you asked because we're best-selling authors, children's book authors, award-winning educators, speakers, and school improvement practitioners who transformed our schools with a set of amazing staff members after our improvement of report card ratings 2 and 3 levels in just a single year.
Yes, and after we raised our report cards 2 and 3 levels in 1 year, people started to ask, what did we do differently? And that led to the development of our REAL framework with the acronym R standing for respect, E excellence, A accountability, L literacy, and the second L is leadership. So, as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we help schools improve their instruction, their behavior, literacy, leadership, and overall culture. But one of the things that we've learned is that school improvement is not just about systems, it's really about people. And you've heard me say multiple times, we are in the people business before we are in any other business. And people bring emotions, stressors, experiences, relationships, and their mental wellness into schools every day. So that's why we developed our unique approach to school improvement, and that is through our Synergy Lab. So this is basically a self and team awareness. It helps schools to strengthen their self awareness as individuals, but that team awareness as well. What how you show up and how you show up with a team is completely different. So that team awareness is important along with generational awareness. We talk about emotional trigger awareness. And one of our most impactful experiences is everyone has mental health. My sister is in the mental health business, and this is something that she says frequently because understanding mental health helps people to work smarter, lead stronger, and thrive together.
So well said, Sheikah. And Sheikah gave you lots of things that we provide for you if you're interested in working with us. But if you aren't able to bring us into where you are, you can just continue to tune in here to the Real Academy, where we have impacted over 300,000 educators and approximately 7 million students through free Fantastic Four professional development. And we are very, very proud to be a part of this Fantastic Four family that provides this free PD on Saturdays and Sunday each week. And we start that off on Saturday mornings with our brother in the work, Principal Sean Hurt, who does an outstanding, absolutely amazing job with what he does. And of course, we follow him at 10:30 in the Real Academy, where Sheikah and I each week, for the last few weeks, months now, actually have been talking with you through the Synergy Lab experience that we offer so that we're able to connect schools together in a way that has a positive impact on your student achievement. And then following us at 11 o'clock is the Leaders Mentor and the GOAT, all things education, all things leadership, all things with Principal Kafele in the AP and New Principals Academy. And then on Sunday evening, the Fantastic Four rounds out with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. So please, please, please continue to tune in to all of the platforms to hear each one of those folks on our Sensational Saturday, no, our Super Saturday and our Sensational Sundays, so that we can continue to pay forward and pour into each one of you.
Absolutely. So please like, share, subscribe, send the stars, do all of the things that the platforms do. And we say please and thank you. And we appreciate each and every one of you who are very intentional about sharing the live feed every week. So thank you. So now we are at our announcement time, and we have just a few announcements that I will go over. As Tammy talked about earlier, the Synergy Lab, please contact us if you would like to experience that at your school or your organization. If you have not picked up your copy of Amir's Awakening, you can do that through our website or through Amazon.com. And if you have not caught Parents Are First Teachers, make sure you do that. It airs every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on WGCD radio, and you can catch that online as well. We have our Juneteenth celebration documentary coming up. And also, if you are trying to get off any extra pounds for the summer, Elizabeth Nelson Wellness and Weight Loss, contact us, watch the webinar, make an appointment with me, and I will go over that with you. I am maintaining my 21 pounds of weight loss. And this coming Sunday, our Juneteenth Chester Committee has put together a full week of names that you may know, but the stories you may not have heard. So it'll be a week of storytelling from great people in our communities that we want to magnify their voices. And then after Juneteenth, Tammy and I will be in York at their Juneteenth celebration. There'll be a panel, and there'll be also an opportunity for us to showcase Amir's Awakening as well. So we are excited about that. And normally we would be shouting you all out in the comments, but because we are pre-recorded, because we will be at the Cameron Olivia, what is it, Tammy?
Cameron Olivia Foundation.
Foundation, the Cameron Olivia Foundation walk on Saturday morning. We did have to pre-record today, and they are having a walk to stop the gun violence. Um, their daughter was lost to a tragic incident, and so bringing awareness around stopping gun violence is something that her family has done to continue her name and her legacy, and just to make sure that those types of tragic things don't happen to other people. So usually in the summers, um, violence incidents of violence are having the walk, bringing awareness, and I hope that a lot of people are out.
Absolutely. If you're listening, um, you can still come on out because it's from 8 to what? 1?
I think so.
Yeah. So please support what they're trying to do with the Cameron Olivia's foundation, because again, as Shika said, that is a very powerful way to remind everyone that we have to be aware of what happens when we don't have controls that allow for the proper use of guns. And we are in this to stop violence across the board. And so we celebrate with them today and will honor Cam's memory at the walk. So if you can join us, join us. And we're going to start with that on our topic for this morning. And Shika has already made the statement, but I just want to reiterate what she said just a few moments ago. And that is that everyone has mental health. So sometimes the word is taboo in some communities, and people shy away from conversations around mental health because it has such a negative stigma attached to it. But what we want to just make sure everyone is aware of as we have this conversation this morning is that we all have mental health, not just some people, not just children in schools, not just adults in schools, not just those folks who we consider to be mental. Everyone has mental health. Are you muted, Sheikah?
Absolutely, Tammy.
Okay,
So the question isn't, oh, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. So the question isn't whether or not you have mental health. The question is, how healthy is it? And how does it impact how you show up?
Right.
So, one of the biggest misconceptions is that mental health and mental illness are the same thing, and they are not. Mental health refers to our emotional, our psychological, and social well being, and everyone has mental health.
Thank you, Sheikah. Everybody has mental health. And just like everybody has physical health, some days we are feeling on top of the world and ready to climb Mount Everest. Some days we're thriving, some days we're struggling. That same thing is true emotionally. And understanding that helps to remove that stigma that I mentioned before. Mental health is so important, and we want to talk about how mental health shows up in our schools because it impacts so many different aspects of schools. We have to think about it from this perspective. When you think about issues surrounding mental health, you think about things like attendance, you think about the motivation of students and staff, behavior, relationships, learning, leadership, communication. Everything is impacted.
Absolutely, Tammy. And sometimes what looks like laziness is actually exhaustion. Sometimes what looks like disrespect is actually overwhelm. And sometimes what looks like disengagement is emotional fatigue that doesn't actually excuse the behavior, but it does help understand it. And we've talked multiple times about us being root cause people. When you really are trying to get down to the root cause of a behavior, because we know that behavior is communication. When you're getting down to the root cause of what's being communicated, having this type of information really helps you to better help students. So, students need emotionally healthy adults as well. So, teachers also need emotionally healthy leaders. Leaders need emotionally healthy support systems. And this is why when so many districts start off with SEL and social and emotional learning initiatives, and they always talk about, okay, we got to do this for the students. Here's our SEL program for the students, but you've done nothing for your leaders. You've done nothing for your teachers in the vein of social and emotional awareness or mental wellness. And so, what it makes you sound like is a hypocrite. And so,
Mhm.
when you sound like a hypocrite, nobody is receiving what you're saying because you're saying, do all of these things. I know I froze up. Do all of these things for the children, but you're not even doing these things for anyone else in your organization, and everyone matters. If we say that modeling is how we teach, we too as leaders have to model as well, and that started from the top down.
So well said, Shika. Because what happens when people start to feel like, oh, we need to get rid of something, something has to go. What are the first things to go? Those supports that surround what? SEL, and making sure that we are in a good place, that we have things in place for folks in our buildings, starting with, as you said, the leaders. Because when adults learn self awareness, when they learn emotional regulation, when they learn healthy communication, when they learn how to be aware of triggers, guess what happens? Schools become safer and healthier places where children can thrive.
Absolutely, Tammy. And we always align each week to our real framework. So let's connect this to real with two L's. Respect. That means that we're recognizing the humanity in others. And this is why when you don't roll those programs out starting with the adults, it looks as if you want people to do something that you're not doing. So you have to recognize that humanity in everyone in your organization, not just the children. Excellence, taking care of ourselves so we can perform at our best. Accountability means that we're owning our emotional responses and behaviors. That's where that self-awareness comes in at. There's things that I know about myself that are triggers that I know that I have to do to make sure I remain calm in certain situations. Literacy is understanding that mental wellness and emotional wellness are two different things. So we have to create environments where people feel safe, supported, and valued.
Yes, that's exactly what we need. Emotionally healthy schools are resilient schools. So it's important to have these things in place. Leaders, we're going to give you 5 things that you can start to do immediately that will help to create this awareness in your school so that you can thrive. First, normalize conversations about wellness, total wellness, as Shika mentioned before. Check in before checking on performance. When you check in with someone, it lets them know that you care about what's going on with them. You check in, make sure that everything's okay. And if it's not, you have to learn how to be okay with that. You cannot listen to someone pour their heart out to you because this person is in a not so good space at the moment. And at the end of that conversation, you tell them, yeah, but you still got to get those forms filled out and into the office by the end of the day. Because you've just negated everything that you did in the check in to make sure they know that you do care about what's going on with them. So check in on folks before checking on their performance. And then model healthy boundaries. As a leader, you model for them what healthy boundaries look like. Create psychologically safe spaces. You're the leader. You have to set the tone for that. You have to provide spaces that are safe for people to be able to think clearly. Just a quiet space for them to process through things. So you have to be aware and allow for that psychological safe space to exist in your building. And then finally, build systems that support people, not just the outcomes. Yes, at the end of the day, we want our academic achievement to be flourishing. But when you do these things, you will get good results academically because you will have that healthy space for the adults in the building to thrive. And when the adults in the building thrive, guess what happens? The children do too.
Exactly. And that is the point. If you do not take care of the adults, you are not modeling how to take care of the children.
That's right.
So, one of the systems that my assistant principals and I had in place at the middle school, there were 3 grade levels and 3 of us. So every morning I would check in with them by text, letting, hey, I'm going to take this hall. How's everybody doing? Good morning. If I did 6th grade, somebody else did 7th, somebody else did 8th. We all went down our halls, popped our head ins. Good morning, everybody. CMS, we know that you all are great and we know that you're going to exude greatness, checked in on a teacher. That way you're checking in on everybody and everybody is seeing someone that morning. So we had a system for that because, if you don't have even if you do have a sign-in system, if no one is checking to see if all of your teachers are there, you could potentially have a teacher who was in a car accident, and then who gonna know? And then how that's gonna look? You the school day going on and the children coming up to the office to tell you that the teacher's not in the classroom. That looks horrible. So, you got to make sure that you actually have systems in place so we're not faking the funk, as Principal Kafele and Josh says all the time. So here are your reflection questions. How does your mental wellness impact the way that you show up at work, at home, and in your relationships?
And what is one thing you can do this week to better care for yourself emotionally? Because again, it starts with you.
Absolutely. So, thank you all for joining us for episode 252 of the Real Academy.
Yes, we appreciate you being with us. Next week, we'll continue our Synergy Lab series as we explore another powerful aspect of self awareness and team effectiveness.
Absolutely. And if your school or district or your organization is looking to improve your culture, your communication, your wellness, engagement, make sure you reach out to us at www.createandeducate.solutions. Fill out our contact form and type Synergy Lab. And so that means that we will be able to help you about our everyone has mental health experience could be a possibility, emotional trigger awareness training, and then also our team awareness workshop, as well as leadership development experiences.
Yes, and we want to leave you with we are your resilience doctors, helping you to create and educate so that you can thrive.
Absolutely. Make sure that you tune in next to Principal Kafele. Um, he is still on Facebook, but mostly he wants us to be on YouTube in the AP and New Principals Academy. Then on Sunday, make sure you tune in to Josh and Dr. Marty Moreno on Sensational Sunday in the PGP podcast. And then right back here on Super Saturday, starting off with Principal Sean Hurt at 10 a.m. He's everything data, our guru, and giving you all of those tips to improve. Yours truly, Create and Educate is next. And then Principal Kafele rounds out Super Saturday with a home run, as always, on Saturdays. So we
Out
thank
of
you
the
all for
park,
joining
right?
us. Absolutely. Always out of the park. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you back here next week, same time, same place.
Absolutely.
Thank you.